Stop reaching for coffee first thing every morning if your body already feels drained before breakfast. I can't tell you how many adults over 60 I've spoken with who thought their low energy, cold hands, or heavy legs were simply part of getting older. And yes, aging changes the body. But in my years working with adults over 60, I've noticed something else too. A lot of people are starting the day already running behind physically before they even realize it. What most people don't realize is that after 60, the body often handles hydration differently. You may not feel thirsty, but your system can still wake up slightly depleted. And when that happens, some people notice sluggish mornings, stiff fingers around a coffee mug, or that little hesitation before standing up from a chair. Not pain exactly, just slower. When circulation feels sluggish in the morning, the whole body can feel heavier than it needs to. The real problem isn't always how much water you drink. Sometimes it's when you drink it and what your body is able to do with it afterward. Think about circulation like traffic early in the morning. When flow is smooth, everything moves easier. But after 60, the body may need a little more support getting things moving comfortably again. Before your coffee tomorrow morning, try one simple thing first. Timing matters here more than most people think. And in this video, I want to show you why this small morning habit may support circulation, energy, and recovery in ways that honestly surprised me too. Before we go further, let me ask you something quickly. How old are you? And what does your body feel like during that first hour after waking up? Cold hands, heavy legs, feeling tired before breakfast even though you slept? I read the comments all the time, and honestly, those small details tell me more than people realize about how the body changes after 60. And stay with me through the end of this video because there's one part of this conversation that surprised me more than I expected when I first started noticing it in older adults. So let's start with something many people feel, but rarely pay attention to. That heavy, slow feeling some mornings before the day has even really begun. 1. Why mornings feel heavier after 60. A lot of people over 60 wake up already feeling behind, not sick exactly, just slow. Your legs feel heavy when you first step out of bed. Your fingers feel stiff wrapped around a coffee mug. Sometimes you sit on the edge of the bed for a few seconds before standing because your body just doesn't feel ready yet. I hear this all the time from patients, and most of them assume it's simply aging. A lot of adults notice circulation changes first in small ways: colder hands, slower mornings, tired legs. But here's something many people never realize. After 60, your body often becomes less sensitive to thirst. In other words, you may need water before your brain even tells you that you're thirsty. That surprised me when I first started paying closer attention to it in older adults. Some people wake up slightly dehydrated every morning without noticing it, especially if they sleep poorly, take certain medications, or wake up several times during the night. And when the body starts the morning low on fluids, everything can feel a little harder. Blood flow may feel less efficient. Muscles may feel tighter. Even energy can feel slower to arrive. Not because your body is failing. It's more like the system takes longer to warm up now. Think of it like an older car on a cold morning. It still runs. It just doesn't like being rushed anymore. So here's something simple to try tomorrow morning. Before coffee, before breakfast, drink 1 glass of room temperature water slowly. Not ice cold. Give your body a few minutes with it before caffeine. In some people, that small change may help mornings feel smoother and less heavy over time, and the timing matters more than most people think. 2. Why you still feel drained even after drinking water. One thing I've noticed with a lot of adults over 60 is this: they're drinking water but still feeling drained. Around mid-morning, their energy dips hard. Their mouth feels dry again. Some even notice their feet or hands still feel cold sitting at the breakfast table. And usually the first reaction is, maybe I just need more water. But sometimes that's not really the issue. The real problem isn't always how much water you drink. It's how your body handles it after you drink it. As we get older, the body becomes a little less efficient at holding on to fluids and using them steadily throughout the day. That's one reason some people drink a big glass of water quickly and then feel like they need to use the bathroom 20 minutes later. The water moved through them, but their body never really seemed to settle into it. I remember one man in his late 60s telling me, "I drink water all day, but I still feel dried out." Then we looked closer at his routine. He barely drank anything in the morning, then tried to catch up later in the afternoon. That pattern is more common than people think. After 60, the body often responds better to steady hydration instead of large amounts all at once. So here's something simple to try. Instead of waiting until you feel thirsty, drink a moderate amount of water earlier in the day and spread it out more naturally. A few slow sips every so often usually works better than chugging a large bottle at once. In some people, that small shift may help support steadier energy and make the body feel a little more comfortable through the morning. 3. The morning pattern that may be slowing you down. A lot of people over 60 have a morning routine that hasn't changed in 20 or 30 years. They wake up, head straight for coffee, sit down for a while, maybe scroll through the news, and don't really move much for the first hour of the day. It feels normal because it's familiar, but the body at 68 doesn't always respond the same way it did at 38. That's the part many people don't notice right away. One small thing I hear often is, "I feel stiff until I've been up for a couple of hours." Sometimes it's the lower back. Sometimes it's the knees or ankles. And in some people, part of that heavy feeling may be linked to sitting too long before the body is fully woken up physically. After 60, circulation and muscle response can feel slower in the morning, especially after a full night of lying still. The body often needs gentle movement earlier than people think. I remember a patient who told me he felt old every morning, but better by lunchtime. That detail mattered, because it suggested his body wasn't necessarily breaking down. It just wasn't transitioning well from rest into movement. So we changed one thing. Before sitting with coffee, he started walking slowly around the house for 5 minutes after drinking water. Nothing intense, just movement. And honestly, he was surprised by how different his mornings felt after a few weeks. Not younger. Not full of energy overnight, just less stiff getting out of a chair, less hesitation before moving around. If you want to try something today, keep it simple. Hydrate first, then move gently for 5 minutes before sitting down too long. For some people, that small sequence may support a smoother start to the day. 4. Why some people wake up already exhausted. One thing that comes up again and again with adults over 60 is this strange kind of morning fatigue that doesn't fully make sense. You slept, maybe not perfectly, but enough. Still, you wake up already feeling low. Your eyes feel heavy, your body feels slow before you've even done anything. Some people describe it as feeling unplugged until late morning. What surprised me over the years is how often this was connected to nighttime habits people never thought about. Sleeping with dry air, taking medications late at night, waking up 2 or 3 times to use the bathroom. Even breathing through the mouth during sleep can leave some people waking up feeling dried out without realizing it. Then the morning starts with coffee, very little water, and long periods of sitting. By 10 a.m., the body already feels behind. And after 60, recovery from that kind of dehydration may take longer than it used to. The body still adjusts, of course, it just doesn't bounce back as quickly. That's why some adults notice they feel better later in the afternoon instead of the morning now. Their system eventually catches up, but the first half of the day feels harder than it should. So here's a small thing worth trying tonight. Put a glass of water near the bed before you go to sleep. Then tomorrow morning, drink some of it before standing up too quickly or reaching for caffeine. Give your body a minute. Sit at the edge of the bed if you need to. In some people, slowing that transition from sleep to movement may help mornings feel less draining over time. 5. Why chugging water may leave you feeling worse. A lot of people still hydrate the way they did when they were younger. They realize they haven't had enough water all morning, so they drink a large glass quickly and try to catch up. But after 60, the body often responds differently to that pattern. Some people notice bloating, others feel water just seems to pass right through them. And a few minutes later, they still feel tired or dry anyway. I remember a woman in her early 70s telling me, I drink water constantly, but I never feel refreshed. That word stood out to me, refreshed. Because hydration isn't only about getting water into the stomach, the body also needs time to absorb and use it gradually. After 60, fast changes in fluid balance can feel harder on the system, especially first thing in the morning. Think about watering a dry plant for a second. If you dump a huge amount of water too quickly, most of it runs right past the soil. But slow watering gives the roots time to absorb what they need. In some ways, the body responds similarly as we age. Smaller amounts spread throughout the morning may feel more comfortable than large amounts all at once. So here's something simple to experiment with. Instead of drinking one big bottle quickly, try drinking a few slow sips every several minutes during the first hour after waking up. Room temperature water usually feels easier for many people than ice-cold water first thing in the morning. It's not about perfection. It's about paying attention to how your body actually feels afterward. And for some adults, that shift alone changes the entire rhythm of the morning. 6. The hidden reason. Morning energy feels different now. I've had a lot of older adults tell me the same thing in different ways. I slept 8 hours, but I still woke up exhausted. And you can hear the frustration in their voice because they're trying. They're going to bed earlier. They're cutting back on late-night snacks. Some are even tracking their sleep on watches or apps. But the body still feels slow before the day really begins. What many people don't notice is how often energy and hydration overlap after 60. Even mild dehydration may leave some people feeling foggy, sluggish, or mentally flat in the morning. Not severely dehydrated, just enough that the body feels off. Sometimes it shows up as dry lips. Sometimes it's that faint headache behind the eyes or the feeling that your brain hasn't fully arrived yet. I remember one man describing it perfectly. He said, "By the time I finally feel awake, half the day is gone." That stayed with me because I hear versions of that all the time. And in some people, the issue wasn't only sleep quality. It was the way the body was starting the morning. Too little water. Too much caffeine too fast. No movement. No transition period between sleeping and rushing into the day. So here's one thing worth trying for the next week. Before turning on the TV or checking your phone, sit quietly for a couple of minutes with a glass of water nearby. Drink slowly. Open the blinds. Let your body wake up gradually instead of all at once. It sounds simple, maybe even too simple. But for some adults, that calmer start changes how the entire morning feels physically and mentally. 7. Why your body may need movement before coffee. A lot of people wait until they feel energized before they move in the morning, but after 60, it often works the other way around. The body may need movement first before energy starts showing up. I've heard people say things like, "Once I finally get going, I feel better." And honestly, that small detail tells us a lot about how the body changes with age. After a full night of lying still, circulation can feel slower in the morning. Muscles tighten up a little. Joints feel stiff. Even the hands can feel awkward opening jars or gripping a toothbrush at first. That doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. In many people, the body just needs more time and more physical input than it used to. Sitting immediately after waking sometimes makes that heavy feeling last longer. One older patient told me he used to spend the first hour every morning in his recliner because he thought rest would help him save energy. But he actually felt worse, staying still. So we tried something different. After drinking water, he started walking slowly up and down his driveway for 5 minutes before breakfast. Nothing intense, just enough movement to wake the body up gently. A couple of weeks later, he noticed something interesting. His legs didn't feel as heavy getting out of the car later in the day. Not a huge transformation, just more looseness in the body overall. So if your mornings feel stiff or sluggish lately, try adding a few minutes of light movement right after hydration. A short walk, shoulder rolls, gentle stretching. For some people, that combination feels more supportive than either habit alone. 8. The small morning changes your body actually notices. One thing I've learned working with older adults is that the body pays attention to routines, not perfection, not extreme health plans, just repeated daily patterns. And after 60, small habits often affect how the body feels more than people expect, especially in the morning when energy, hydration, movement, and circulation are all trying to come online at the same time. I remember talking with a man who kept searching for one big answer to his fatigue: new supplements, expensive gadgets, different diets every few months. But when we walked through his actual mornings, everything felt rushed. Coffee immediately, no water, no movement. Breakfast while standing at the kitchen counter, then sitting for hours afterward. His body never really had a calm transition into the day. What changed things for him wasn't one major breakthrough. It was consistency. Water first, a few minutes of walking. Slowing down enough to let his body catch up before jumping into the day. After a month or so, he told me something simple but honest. I don't crash as hard in the mornings anymore. That may not sound dramatic, but for many people over 60, that kind of change matters a lot. So if there's one thing I hope you take from this video, it's this: pay attention to how your mornings actually feel, not how they should feel. Your body gives small signals long before bigger problems show up. Dry mouth, heavy legs, feeling worn out before breakfast. Those details matter, and sometimes a calmer morning rhythm may support the body more than people realize over time. 9. Final thoughts. One thing I've learned after years of working with adults over 60 is that the body usually speaks quietly before it speaks loudly. Sometimes it's cold hands in the morning. Sometimes it's heavy legs, low energy before breakfast, or feeling like your body takes longer to arrive each day. Those small signals matter more than people think. And the good news is, support doesn't always have to start with something extreme. In many people, simple habits done consistently may help the body feel more comfortable over time. A little more hydration earlier in the morning, a little movement before sitting too long, slowing down enough to let the body wake up gradually instead of rushing straight into stress and caffeine. So tomorrow morning, try paying attention to how you actually feel during that first hour of the day. Not how you think you should feel. Your body changes after 60, but it still responds to care, routine, and consistency in meaningful ways. And if you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. I'd really like to hear what your mornings feel like these days. This video is for general educational purposes only and is not medical advice. The habits discussed here may support overall wellness in some people, but results can vary depending on individual health conditions, medications, sleep quality, and lifestyle. Always speak with your healthcare provider before making significant changes to hydration, diet, exercise, or supplement routines, especially if you have heart, kidney, or blood pressure concerns.